everyone. So, our today's topic of discussion is, as you can see here, we will be seeing today behavioral level of modeling. What we have discussed so far was all about a structural level of modeling, right? So, as I've already told you, explained you about different concepts, right? About means the different level of abstractions that we have, right? So, as I told you that we will be discussing mostly about three levels of abstraction. Abstractions means the different types of methodologies, right, that we use in order to command our hardware circuit. Getting it? Okay. So, we have made a discussion on structural level of modeling, and now today we will be discussing behavioral level of modeling as well as data flow level. Okay. So, I think before we start today's lecture, I think everybody knows about what is the difference between behavioral, right? So, I have already explained you. Behavior means we are not concerned about what type of structure we are using, right? What we are concerned about is what kind of behavior it has, what kind of output our device wants from us, right? How we have to train our hardware, okay? No matter what kind of structure we are following, no matter, but the output has to follow, okay? So this was all about behavioral level of modeling. So here you are seeing that we'll be discussing these contents, okay? And after that, I'll take some of the examples in behavioral level of modeling as well, right? Okay. Now, coming to the very first part, as you can see, as I told you, see, in the very first class, I guess I have given you an example, a very basic example. Like, suppose we are making a AND gate, right? So, AND gate, or I would say, suppose we are making a NAND gate. What does that mean? It will have output like this, right? But we can also make it this way. Means a AND gate along with a NAND gate, this also works similarly, right? This will also work this way. Means they both have same functionality, but they differ. They differ in their structures, right? So if we have to talk about the structural level of modeling, so we would be using here the NAND gates from the Verilog library. But if I talk about the output, means output of the NAND gate is, suppose we have these inputs, right? A, B. What is the output? This will be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and then 0. I'm sure this everybody knows that the multiplication whenever happens, right? And the multiplications complement this NAND gate, right? So what I'm saying here, that our output has to follow. That is the only priority, right? That is the main important thing. No matter what structure you are taking, you could take this also, you could take this also. It's absolutely your choice. Okay. Now, what you're seeing here you see the functionality in terms of behavior. Very important point. Okay. Means, suppose you have been given a circuitry, you have to just identify what kind of logic it is working on. What is the truth table? You can identify the expression, Boolean expression. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, how will we design our behavioral model? We had, I'm sorry, we had Boolean expression, we have truth table, and yes, from the state transition diagram also, we can make our Boolean model, right? We can make our behavioral model, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what does that mean? Where do we use this FSM in sequence detector circuit? When we'll study about the sequential circuits, this will come in key role, right? So we'll be discussing it in more detail there, right? So now what are we seeing here? Behavioral style uses procedural statements. Very important line. See, we used to write whatever the logic is, we used to write it inside in forms of procedural statements. I'm sorry. We used to write it in forms of procedural statements, and those all statements will be written inside this keyword. I'll write here, the keyword is all always at the rate. So whatever you write, whatever the procedural statements you write inside this, right? Always at the rate. You will write inside this. Okay? Important part is when you talk about the procedural assignments. What does that mean? See, if I talk about the basic examples you all have done, right? So if I am writing, suppose I am writing this way, like y is equal to, suppose I am writing A XOR B. Just for an example, I am writing that assign. Here I am taking data flow modeling, so I am using this assign keyword. Just for an example, I am telling you. Suppose I am writing y is equal to A XOR B. What does that mean? This y is continuously driven by the output of this XOR operation, right? This is continuously driven, means the value is getting continuously stored in y. Whenever there is a change in A or B, the value gets changed and gets automatically stored in y. Okay, so this is all about assignments, means we are assigning some value to output. Okay, now we have procedural assignment, we have two methods, like we have blocking methods, we have non-blocking methods. I'll tell you what is the difference. Blocking means, blocking, suppose I have written a number of statements. Blocking means by the time the first one is not getting executed, you cannot execute the second one. Okay, this is the meaning of blocking. Okay, and what is the meaning of non-blocking statements? Means suppose multiple statements are written, you can execute all the statements sequentially, you can concurrently, not sequentially, concurrently at the same time. So you will see this advantage of non-blocking in sequential circuits, where you will see in sequential circuits. Okay, and blocking, the example you will be seeing in combinational circuits. Okay, mostly in combinational circuits, it's not like that you cannot use blocking statements in sequential. Of course you can use, but it comes in consideration mainly in combinational circuits. And this example I'll tell you when I'll explain you about shift registers, how this non-blocking helps us and what are the advantages. There you will get to know, you will be able to bifurcate the things. Okay, for now you understand it this way only, that if we have multiple statements and we have to execute one by one in sequential manner, we would use blocking statements, and non-blocking means concurrently we can execute all the statements. Okay, fine. Coming to the next part, what are the constraints? Means what are the rules if you talk about behavioral level of modeling? Okay, the first rule is, wherever, suppose I have given you an example of A XOR B, right? So you have to keep in mind that this is a relational operator. So the LHS, this is the LHS and this is the RHS. Okay, so this LHS has to be always reg type, because in behavioral level of modeling you store something. So for storage purpose you need registers, reg data type of your variable. So it is very important you keep in mind that the LHS has to be of reg type, and the RHS could be a reg or nets. Getting it? It could be anything. I guess I have written it here. Yes, LHS has to be reg type and RHS has to be, or it could be reg or nets type. Okay. Yes, if you have, suppose as I have told you that we would start writing the logic of the code, means how the circuit has to perform, what is the logic behind. So those logics I have to write somewhere. So we would start writing those after we write this always at the rate. And suppose we have multiple statements. What is the meaning of multiple statement means? Suppose we are designing a half adder, just a very basic digital circuit half adder is, okay? If you are designing a half adder, so it has expression for sum as well as carry, right? So we have two expressions, multiple statements, we want multiple outputs. So for that purpose, what we will do, first of all, we'll write always at the rate, right? And then we will use these keywords begin and end. So whatever the statements you want to write, you will be writing here all the statements. I hope by this you are clear with the facts, right? What is happening? I have used this parenthesis here. This parenthesis and whatever you write here, this complete is known as sensitivity list. What do we say? Sensitivity list. Whatever you write inside this parenthesis, it is called as sensitivity list. What we write here? We write whatever inputs are responsible, whatever the inputs are for a device. Okay, which changes with respect to time, and those changes our device has to monitor with respect to output. Okay, so we would write here all those inputs. Suppose if I talk about half header, so I guess half header structure everybody remember. This was a half header, right? It has input A and B, and outputs were sum and carry, right? So if we talk about what are the inputs here, so inputs are A comma B, right? A comma B. You can write it this way. Okay? What is happening here? Means whenever there is a change in A, you can write it this way also, or you can write OR as well. Whenever there is a change in A or B, your output will change. Your output means your sum and carry will change. Means this list is sensitive to the changes in inputs. So that is the reason we call it as sensitivity list. Okay, fine. Okay, now coming to the next part. Yeah, you can see here this is a half header, right? Half header means, I guess this I have already explained you in the last lecture when we were discussing about the structural level of modeling. We have explained this circuit, how it is working means the sum we are getting as XOR and in the carry we are getting as A dot B. So the same expression we are getting, and this is the circuit diagram for your half header. Okay, and yes, this was the block diagram. Now we have to see that how it is different from structural level. In structural level, what have we used? We have instantiated something like we have given names to our XOR gate, like we were giving this as name as X1 and this as A1, and then we have used these gates directly from the Verilog library in our module, right? But what will we do here? That is important. Sorry. Yeah. See here. This is a half header. We have inputs as A and B, and this is your sum and this is your carry. Now, see here, behavioral modeling as I am discussing. So I have taken the name as half header behavioral. Okay, rest this everything like declaration of ports will remain the same. Like you have declared your ports name is ABSC. Okay, AD are the ports, input ports, and sum and carry are the output ports, right? Now I have declared it as this also. What are you seeing here as extra part, that we are writing sum and carry as reg type. I hope now you can relate that we always have to consider the output as reg type whenever you are talking about behavioral level of modeling. Okay, fine. So what you are doing here, you are writing always at the rate. What are the inputs? These are the inputs. Suppose you have a device, you are designing a digital circuit where a lot of inputs are there, and you don't want to write it every time that A, B, C, D. You don't want to write it this way. So what will you write for multiple inputs, or what for all the inputs if you want to include inside this sensitivity list? So how will you write that? Always at the rate and then star. Star includes all the inputs, whatever you are using inside your digital circuit. Okay, so this is the important point to be remembered. Okay, now see here, just because we have two statements, so we are using this keyword begin and end. Okay, now what we are seeing here, sum mean we are storing. See, I told you that behavioral level of modeling we can do by three ways. What were the ways? If you know the Boolean expression, okay, that could be a way. If you know the truth table, That could be a way, right? Or if you want, you can do it from the state diagram as well, which I've told you that we will discuss in sequential part. But these two are important for combinational combination. These two are important for combinational. Okay. Now see, very important part. What is important here? That see here, I'm using directly the Boolean expression. I know the equation for half adder is A XOR B, and this is A dot B. So directly I have used this A XOR B, and C may we have stored A and B. Means directly the equations I have written here, right? So what will happen? देखिए how our compiler is going to work, our Verilog compiler is going to work. It will come here. It will name, okay, the name of your device, your module is half adder, fine. Then it will say, okay, these are the input ports, okay, sum and carry are the output ports, okay, and then we have to declare it. We have declared this reg type, okay, fine. Now to see that whenever there is a change in inputs A and B, means whenever there is a change, again look at the table of half adder, look at the table 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So what will happen as a sum, right? So wherever it will come here, your compiler will come here. What will it see? क्या A or B may say any of the values getting changed? 0 0 suppose, so sum and carrier 0 0 it will produce, okay. So in the next line it will say yes, B has been changed, B is moved from 0 to 1, okay, so it is changed. Again we move inside this always block, it will see, okay, now it will do A XOR B and then A and B, it will store the result in S and C. And yes, how will it print these values, that I will be discussing. What are, how we will display our value, how we will monitor our outputs, okay, how we will monitor the changes in inputs, okay, how we will print the output through the help of test benches. So that is a different story, we will discuss it afterwards. For now what you have to understand, whenever there is a change, again it will go here and it will see always at the rate, and then yes, there is a change in A. See, A is changed from 0 to 1. Yes, there is a change. Again the sum and carry will produce. After that, yes, it's seen A is getting constant but B is getting changed. Again the sum and carry will produce. This always block, okay, it's a procedural block. It will keep on doing the practice by the time there is a change in A and B. Okay, now the question comes, how we will stop our simulation? This always block will keep on continuing for indefinite interval of time. Okay, it's not going to stop. Whenever there is a change in A or B, it's going to do the manipulations. It's going to repeat. It's type of repetition of loop something. You can understand it this way. But we have certain thing which is called as $finish, okay, $stop. What are these? Okay, these are some system functions which we will be declaring, which we will be giving in order to stop our simulation at any point of time we want. Okay, so this also we will discuss in some separate topic. By now you have to understand that, okay, whenever there is a change in A and B, it's going to execute, and always block has a property that's going to execute for indefinite time, but you can stop it. Stop signal also you have for stopping. Yeah, then you can see here, this is the diagram of your full adder. I hope you are seeing this, and we have already discussed what full adders are, right? What is the expression for full adder? You can see A XOR B XOR C, right? And the carry expressions were AB plus BC plus AC. Okay, now come on, let's see how we'll write the code for this. This is the basic circuit diagram. Okay, A XOR B XOR C, and then here AB plus BC plus AC. Now what we have to do? See, we are making a full adder and we have A, B, C input and the sum and C out as carry and sum. Now we have declared this as input type, sum and this as, yeah. Now here what you are seeing, that instead of writing it this way like output and sum, comma, carry, and the next line we could have written this way also, reg, sum, comma, carry. We can write it this way also. Yes, this is fine. There is no issue with that. But We can reduce our line, we can reduce our code also just by merging these two statements. Sorry. So we have merged output and reg, right? So this is also a property. This is the beauty of Verilog, that we can also do it this way. Now, whatever the circuit is, it is sensitive to these inputs, and the inputs are A, B, C, so use inside always block. Okay? And just because we have multiple statements, I have used this begin and end keyword. Now we are producing two outputs, sum and then Cout, carry, right? Carry output. The first one is, I can directly write it this way, and I hope you guys remember the bitwise AND and OR expressions, right? So if you have to write AB plus BC plus AC, what does that mean? Here dot dot means this is a AND operation, right? This is a OR operation, right? इस तरीके से जो हम symbol use करते हैं, right? So similarly, we would write this way: A and B, or B and C in, or A and C in, right? Directly from the expression we can do this way. Getting it? So I hope this is a very basic example. See, these are very basic examples, like very basic digital circuits. So once you understand all these basic things, trust me, the sequential circuit designing would be very easy for you. You know, you'll be able to do the entire thing in a snap, right? So it would be very easy for you. You have to understand how we are doing things, like inside this always block, how it is working. Means every time a change is expected in A, B, or C in, it senses the change and then it executes these statements. It produces sum and carry. That is what we want from our device, right? That is what we want from our device. Fine. Come on. Let's move ahead to half subtractor. See, I think in the last class I have explained to you about the entire working, how this truth table happens, because I know somewhere people get little confusions regarding the subtraction part, right? But you don't have to worry. I think I have explained you how it is happening. So half subtractor is producing two outputs. What are they? Difference and then borrow. Okay, so we have these two. This is the circuit diagram that we have for half subtractor, right? And these are the expression A XOR B and then A bar B. Okay, so now we have to write the code for this. चलिए जी ये भी लिख लेते हैं. देखिए what is happening here. Now instead of declaring my ports here, declared all these ports here, right? Like what are the input ports, what are the output ports? I declared here only. Now what I'm doing here, I have written reg, right? Reg and the outputs, diff. I have taken the name as different and B out, any borrow output. Okay. Now again the same thing. We know we have expression for difference as A XOR B and this as A complement B, means this itself is getting complemented. So how we will write? This is the complement and B, right? So this way we can produce the difference and borrow expression, and this way we can make a half subtractor with the help of behavioral modeling. Okay, chaliye. Coming to the next part, full subtractor. I guess this also we have seen how this expression is coming, how the difference expression was coming from the truth table. We have seen these expressions, right? How it is happening, how this expression we are getting. I think in the last class we have also discussed about how to make a full adder, through half adders, how to make a full subtractor through half subtractor. And I've already, I think I've also explained to you something like, suppose we have 3 half adders, right? So how will we generate the final output? You don't have to worry anything. You just have to remember some concept that if a half adder is there, it has 2 inputs, then obviously the sum will be the XOR of the 2 inputs and the carry would be the multiplication of the 2 inputs. And this way we have seen the entire concepts, right? And I have given you, I think in the last term, I've given you a single line, a single expression, and then I have said that you have to do it through structural level of modeling without doing any other thing, without keeping other thing in mind. You just have to solve it in a snap. So how will you do? I think I've also given you a question. I hope that you guys are solving these things, right? See, I am obviously teaching you things in Verilog, and I'm every day I'm coming and I'm telling you that you have to do this thing, you have to do that thing, but the practice is from your end. This time, I know I'm telling you guys, in a written format. After some time, I'll also come up with, the coding section, means the tool I'll be using here. And I'll directly teach you with the tool how things are running in the tool. So there also you will enjoy. But first of all, before I move to that part, the section that we need to understand. So that is the part we are doing. Like we are standing on the ladder. We are standing, we are every day we are, jumping from one stair to another stair. Okay. So you can not directly go to the that tool part. That will also come. Okay. So meanwhile, bear with me and then keep on practicing things. You will for sure get things very clearly. Okay. Now, and one more thing. If suppose you have any questions, any doubts, you can comment also and try to deliver the response as early as possible. Okay? Yeah. So yes, this was all about full subtractor that I have told you. Now, coming to the coding section. See, this is your circuit diagram. And what you are seeing, you have declared the output as reg type because it's a behavioral level of modeling, right? You're storing the results somewhere, okay, for a while, and then inputs and then outputs, and you're always block, which is sensitive to the inputs A, B, B in, and then the difference and the borrow. You can see here from the expression, yes, take part off from the expression, A complement B in, A complement B, and then B, B in. This is all which is equivalent to addition. Which is equivalent to addition. I hope by far things are clear. Okay, directly from the expression we are writing these two lines. Fine. Now, coming to the part multiplexer, I guess this also, see, multiplexer we can design this way. I think we have seen, yes, we have two inputs, we have one select line, and then we are producing output. What we are doing? We are saying if we have selection line as 0, means we have to select the first input. We have to move that first input to output, right? So it will move A0 to output. And if I talk about 1, so it will select this A1 input to output, will move that, direct that input to output. Okay? चलिए जी इसका भी कोड देख लेते हैं. Expression से भी we all are familiar with, right? Come on, let's see the code. Yes, we have inputs as A and S and output is Y declared, right? Output is Y, so we'll declare it as reg type. Now see, we had 2 cross 1 where we had these two, so we are giving here as A0 and then A1. According with this selection line, that is S, we would produce some result here in Y. See here, always at the rate, this is also input, this is also input. So A comma S I have given. Now, what is the expression for Y? If S is 0, give A0. If S is 1, give A1. So this is similarly, I have written here, complement of S, then A0, or S dot A1, S and A1. Fine. I hope things are getting relatable for you all, right? We will also move towards some statements like how we will do this with the help of truth tables. Yes, we can do these things with the help of truth table also, which I will tell you afterwards. First of all, we are focusing on Boolean expressions. Okay, we are focusing directly writing the equation in terms of Boolean expressions. Okay, fine.